back, everybody. We are going to do a tomato review on the Neutron Micro Dwarf variety. Now, this is a variety that a lot of people are go really crazy about, including myself, because this is really a true micro dwarf. And these tomatoes really don't get much bigger than what you see right here. They're a very small tomato, and that's really all it is. There's not a lot of seed in these guys. That's why these are hard to sell these in large quantities. I usually limit the orders. So let me just kind of give you a look at the plant and the tomatoes on it and talk a little bit about that. Now you see these tomatoes, they're a little on the rough side because they're at the end of their life cycle. Once they fully ripen and all the tomatoes are ripen on it, these plants generally die. That's it. Once you pick all the tomatoes off, you chuck this thing in the garbage. It's done. That's as far as you're going to get with it. But that's what you're going to end up seeing. And then the plant starts, it's withering away, it's dying. It's a determinate variety of tomato. So that's what they're going to do. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but you know that this plant has completed its mission when it looks like that and you're ready to pick your tomatoes. So what you do in a case like that is every 30 days you just plant a new batch of this variety of tomato 3 to 4 times in a year. And you can even do this in the winter time. You don't need to wait till summer. I like to wait till summer because I can really pile these pots up at the back of my driveway and everything and just really grow a ton of these plants. Here's another plant over here. Let me just show you. This one's not quite ready yet to go, but you can see there's tomatoes all over it and they're almost ripened. They're starting to ripen up now. I don't want to get this water on this thing because I got to make another one. So let's take a closer look now at the tomato. And see what it looks like now. Hopefully my lighting is good. So that's what it looks like. It's generally a little cherry tomato. They're not very big. I'm not going to weigh it. It's a very tiny tomato. This isn't the kind of tomato that you're going to grow for production. I mean, it's a nice little windowsill tomato, and it's really cute, but it's not something that you're going to be, making gallons of, you're not going to make gallons of sauce with this. Some people kind of think they could, but it's a novelty is what this is, and it's a beautiful collector's piece. If this is the type of thing that you like, this is beautiful, and you can't go wrong with it. So it differs from the micro tom and everything. You can kind of see it's got a little point on the end. See that? It's hard to see it the way I got this. The light has really been terrible the last few days, but all right, so let's cut one of these open and we'll do a bricks. 6.5 on the bricks. 6.5. So let's give that a go. Okay, so let's go over the flavor profile on this thing. Well, this plant, I've tasted this tomato in the past, and this tomato's tasted much better in the past. This year has some weird features on it. It could be just because of the soil I used, I don't know. But we'll go over what we got, and I'll give you my honest opinion about this tomato. Okay, so we start with the sweetness was very low. The sweetness was like maybe a 10 or a 15 on the sweetness. There was almost nothing in there. It was almost all tang. As far as the tangy goes, I'm not going to overcompensate for the tangy just because that was low. The tangy was like its normal area, so I would say that you just tasted it more because the sweetness wasn't there. The tanginess was about a 30 on the tanginess, so it's a little bit above, but it wasn't overwhelming because there was no sweetness. It was just there and more noticeable, and it seemed to have been more tangy. Now, as far as the strength of the flavor, it was very strong, but not necessarily in a good way, but it was a very prominent flavor, and I'm going to definitely say that because the flavor was so strong and kind of almost a little bit on the tangy side, I'm going to say that it was somewhere up around 7. It was a very strong, prominent, dominant flavor. So if you eat this tomato, you're going to know that you ate this tomato. Okay, so we're right to the moisture. The moisture was a little bit above normal. I'm going to say 6 on the moisture, but not spectacular. It was just a little bit on the higher side. Tarty or sour. Now, it did seem like it had a little bit of a maybe slight type of a sour flavor to it that combined with this tangy. It was like a slight little bit of almost a lemony type of soury type effect. Very slightly, not much, but just enough. So I did taste a little something on that. That's not going to lower or raise the rating. I just wanted to mention that I do taste something like that. Now, this did have an earthy overtone. When I ate it, it tasted like an earth. It tasted like earth. I didn't get that any time in the past. This year I got it from that, but I mean, I ate 2 tomatoes just to make sure that it wasn't my imagination, and both tomatoes did the same thing. So there was an earthy overtone. It wasn't really bad, but it was in the beginning, initial part when you eat it, you kind of tasted it, and then it went away. It was pretty strong as far as that number goes. I'm going to give this, because normally my tomatoes don't have earthy tones or overtones or undertones. So 0 would be like your baseline, and going up from there, I'm going to say the strength of that was probably pushing up near the 3, going into 4 mark. There was a pretty good earthy tone with that flavor. So it wasn't off-putting, but it was prominent. So that was something. I wouldn't necessarily make sauces with this thing yet. Texture was okay. I'm going to go middle of the road on the texture. That wasn't bad. It broke up nice. These tomatoes are extra ripe because they've been sitting on here for a while, waiting for me to review it. So those tomatoes were definitely on the extra ripe side. So as far as the texture goes, I'm going to go middle of the road on that. Production, as you can see, for such a tiny plant, I'm gonna give this like a 6.5, 7 on a production. It's a lot of tomatoes, guys. Look at this. That's a lot of tomatoes for such a tiny. This plant isn't even 3 inches tall. This thing's absolutely nothing but stem and tomato. I mean, I don't know what more you want when it comes to micro dwarf. That's as micro dwarf as you're gonna get. And so production-wise, I'm going 6, 7, even possibly even an 8 on this, because it's such a great amount of production for that little tiny plant. It's incredibly good. Skins, I'm going to give it a somewhat low rating. I'm going to go 3 on the skins. These skins for this year, at least, were a little on the thicker and harder side. But I've been noticing that with a few different varieties doing that. So it could just be because it's really hot out. I don't know. But the skins were a little thick. So we're going to lower that rating a little bit on that one. Seeds, very low seeds. Seeds is going to get a very low rating, 2 on the seeds. I mean, there's only like 3 or 4 seeds inside of each one of these tomatoes, so there's almost no seeds on it. It's a very low rating for seeds. Sauce, we don't know, but in my opinion, I don't know if I would want to make sauce with this one. So, what's my overall rating? Number 1 being the highest. So, this one, for such a tiny little Nano Dwarf type of plant, I'm going to call this... I'm going to give this one a 2, guys. I'm not giving it a number 1. I almost want to give it a number 1 for these really small types of micro dwarfs. I call them nano dwarfs. I'd like to give this a number 1 for that one, just by itself, because this plant is absolutely productive. It blows all the other micro dwarfs out. But just for